I never thought my own sister, Maria, would be the one to pull something like this. We were close growing up, same room, same school, same secrets. But somewhere along the road, money changed her. Or maybe it only revealed who she already was. For the past year, I'd been living in a nice downtown apartment, clean, bright, and close to my office. I never complained about anything, always paid rent on time, never caused trouble. Maria worked as the property manager for the building. Just the manager, nothing more. But she liked acting like she owned the place. She loved the power. She loved control even more. One Monday morning, she knocked on my door with her usual fake smile, the kind she used whenever she was about to deliver bad news but wanted to pretend she cared. "Hey, little bro," she said, waving a folder. "I've reviewed all tenant lease agreements. Your rent is increasing." I frowned. Increasing? By how much? She slid the paper into my hands like she was handing me a death certificate. From $2,200 to $6,800. Effective next month. I stared at it, almost laughing. "Is this a joke?" "Nope," she said proudly. "Market rates. Inflation. Demand. You know, business." Her voice dripped with arrogance. "Besides, you have a great job. You can afford it." Her eyes said the real reason. She wanted more money out of me because she assumed I had no choice. I looked at her calmly. "Maria, this doesn't make sense. You can't raise rent 200% overnight." She shrugged. "I can. I'm the manager. If you can't pay it, you can leave." Then she added, with a cruel smirk, "But good luck finding anything cheaper in this area." That's when I realized. She wasn't doing this for the building. She was doing this to push me out. Why? Because she wanted the apartment for her fiancé's cousin. Someone who'd been begging her for a discount unit. Someone she wanted to impress. And since she believed I was powerless, I was the easiest one to kick out. I didn't argue. I didn't shout. I didn't even look upset. Inside, I was boiling. But on the outside, I stayed calm, too calm. "Okay," I said quietly. "If that's your final decision, I'll handle it." She nodded confidently, already turning away. "Yep. You have 30 days. As she walked down the hallway, I saw her texting someone, no doubt bragging about how she handled me. She truly had no idea. Because here's what Maria forgot. Our family never knew the full story about my finances. Yes, I had a good job. Yes, I paid rent like everyone else. But 2 years earlier, I'd made a strategic investment, one that changed everything. I bought property, renovated it, and flipped it for a huge profit. Then I reinvested again. And again. That's how, quietly and without fanfare, I purchased this entire apartment building under an LLC. Maria only dealt with the management company. She never checked who actually owned it. She genuinely thought I was just another tenant. And now she was trying to exploit me. That's when the idea formed. A calm, cold, perfect idea. I opened my laptop, logged into the owner portal, and pulled up her file, the one that listed all complaints from tenants, her violations, and the fact that she'd approved 3 unregistered sublets, all against policy. She'd broken so many rules I could fire her instantly. But I didn't. Not yet. Because she wanted to play power games? Fine. But she had no clue she was playing them on my board, with my pieces, in a building I owned. And very soon. She was going to learn exactly how small her power really was. The next morning, Maria walked around the building like she was queen of the world, greeting tenants with exaggerated cheerfulness. I watched from the lobby, unseen, silent. She had no idea what was coming. I went upstairs to my apartment, opened my laptop, and drafted a simple email. Subject: Management Review, Urgent. From Building Owner. To Property Manager, Maria Carter. The message was short, professional, and devastating. A review of tenant complaints, lease violations, and unauthorized unit changes has been initiated. You are required to attend a mandatory meeting tomorrow at 10 a.m. I didn't sign my personal name, only the LLC. I wanted the shock to hit her fresh. Within minutes, I heard her phone vibrate in the hallway. She stopped walking, read the email, and froze. Her cheerful expression vanished instantly. She rushed into the office downstairs. Through the glass, I saw panic spread across her face. Papers moved. Drawers opened. She started searching for anything that might get her fired. Threatening tenants. Allowing unapproved sublets. Raising rents illegally. All of it was documented. The best part? She didn't know I was the one watching. That night, she came to my door again, but this time, she looked nervous. Hey, she began awkwardly. About the rent increase, maybe we can revisit that number. Why? I asked calmly. She forced a smile. Well, I've been thinking. Maybe I was a bit too strict. We can go back to your old rate. No need for changes. How generous, I said, not reacting. And also, she added quickly, if you could tell the owner I'm doing a great job, that would really help. I tilted my head. Owner? You've never met them, right? She shook her head. No, but they emailed today. Something about violations. It's stupid. I mean, I know I didn't do anything wrong. Her voice cracked slightly. I leaned on the doorframe. Maria, what if the owner knows everything? She laughed nervously. How would they? They don't even live here. Oh, but they're very familiar with you. She didn't catch the hint. Anyway, she rushed on, just help me out, okay? Keep quiet. I'll keep your rent low. I nodded slowly. Sure. I'll be at the meeting tomorrow too. She frowned. Why? You're a tenant. I smiled, not the friendly kind. Because I think it's time you saw who you've actually been working for. She didn't understand. Not yet. But tomorrow morning? She would walk into that office expecting to impress a stranger. And instead, she'd find me sitting in the owner's chair. Calm. Composed. Holding every piece of paperwork that proved her abuse of power. She wanted to play landlord? Perfect. Because the real landlord was finally about to introduce himself. The next morning, Maria walked into the conference room with a notebook in her shaking hands. She had dressed up, blazer, heels, perfect hair, as if she could impress her way out of trouble. She didn't notice me at first. She sat down, cleared her throat, and waited. Then I stepped inside. Her smile collapsed. Why are you here?" she whispered. I walked to the head of the table, pulled out the owner's chair, and sat. Meeting hasn't started, I replied. Relax. But, this is for the owner, she said, confused. I placed the folder on the table and slowly opened it, revealing papers with the LLC logo. Her eyes scanned them. Her breathing hitched. Maria, I said, leaning back, I am the owner. She went completely pale, exactly like I knew she would. She shook her head in disbelief. No, you're lying. You can't be. You're just a tenant. A tenant who bought this building 5 years ago, I corrected. And a brother you tried to scam. Her mouth opened, but no sound came out. I slid a stack of documents toward her. Unauthorized rent hikes. Threats to tenants. Unapproved renovations. All under your management. I didn't mean, she stuttered. It was just business. You made it personal, I said calmly. Very personal. Tears filled her eyes. Please, don't fire me. This job pays my bills. I didn't know it was yours. I swear I'll do better. I stood up. You slapped financial power around like a weapon. You forgot power doesn't belong to the loudest person, just the one who actually owns the building. She covered her face with trembling hands. Please. Give me another chance. I walked to the door and opened it. Your chance was yesterday, I said softly. Today, you're done. She looked at me, devastated. But we're family. I shook my head. Family doesn't punish you for existing. Family doesn't extort you. Family doesn't raise your rent to $6,800 because they feel superior. Her shoulders collapsed. I'll have HR process your termination. You have 2 hours to clear your desk. I stepped out, leaving her sitting there, silent, finally understanding the weight of her own actions. As I walked through the lobby, the tenants looked up, curious. I smiled at them. Good news, I announced. There's new management starting today. Things will get better. Outside, sunlight hit my face. For the first time in years, I felt something I hadn't felt around my sister in a long time. Peace. I didn't ruin her life. I simply stopped letting her run mine. And as I walked away from the building I owned, I realized something powerful. Some people only respect you once they discover the power you always had.